Yeah, that was very emotional. Not just um, about the two guys, but for Joel as well. Like in the end, but I mean, as much as it was sad, it was also good because those two guys got to live their life the way they wanted. They got to end it the way they wanted to as well.
Mm.
So yeah, like they chose their life, their end, and that's that's something a lot of people hope for, like to
Yeah.
get to do what they choose and how to live it and end it. That was
Yeah.
really an emotional third episode. Really quite good. It was really good for me. Yeah.
Gift.
Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, man, emotions and all that. That was all good stuff. But let's talk about the fact that one, it's really great to have I want to say Ron Swanson, but Nick whatever his
Offerman.
last name is. Nick what? Offerman, yeah.
Offerman.
Nick Offerman back in basically the Ron Swanson role. But no, Ron Swanson minus the women. Like it was kind of dope. I
Mm.
love seeing Nick Offerman in that aspect. And then of course, love the fact that he was a psychopath who created like a
Mm.
fence of death that was
Yeah.
around and that was the ultimate protection. And then add to that, yo, the couple story was legitimately great. Like this was, it's kind of interesting to kind of speak on because the point started in 2005, and ironically, that's whenever Brokeback Mountain happened, and so it's just like a nice little parallel of where these
There you
things
go.
start. I'm like,
There
yo,
you go.
this was legit, and it was just a good story. It was a good couple story of distrust turned to love,
Yeah.
coupling over trauma that led to a healing of sort. And the writing was great. I mean, I genuinely enjoyed it. I was enthralled in it from beginning to end. Part of me hopes this. I haven't played This Is Us, but obviously, as Jason mentioned in previous episodes, all these things are just dropping spoilers. It's impossible to watch a review show without a spoiler happening. So at this point, it doesn't look like there's additional side stories to take, but I
No.
kind of want there to be more of these like compacted side stories that still involve Joel and Ellie, but like not anything that I have to worry about them continuing on into the greater parts of the show. Like I want the journey to
Yeah.
sign to stay the journey, but I do like these little side
Mm.
these little side aspects where he kind of builds the world while also simultaneously giving a context, but doesn't interfere with what our main goal is. Because sometimes
Mhm.
you don't really want to watch a whole season of just walking. Well,
Yeah.
again, it's the fear
Yeah.
of it being Walking Dead again,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
absolutely, unequivocally want to avoid this show becoming a pseudo
Well,
Walking Dead.
well, that's where this episode to me really stands out of putting a real gap between it and The Walking Dead. This is if this was The Walking Dead, this couple might have met. He might have, I was kept expecting something to go wrong all the way up to the piano bit. I
Right.
thought they were going to pull out a gun and he was going to steal and rob him. That was uh, frankly,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I just thought that was going to happen.
I
Then
was thinking that too. I was like, okay, when's the hammer gonna drop? Like when's
Yeah.
the meat guy going to prove himself to be a psychopath survivalist trying to just get over to live?
and they get rid of that feeling or that anticipation when they jump 10 years into the future
Yeah.
and they're still together. Oh, okay, so right, they're a real couple. Then the thing is, you're thinking, oh well, they're going to get invaded, they're going to get attacked.
Right.
This has to go bad, right? This has to go bad.
Right.
If you follow the Walking Dead playbook and all those other zombie films, this has to go bad. And then they invite somebody over. They invite somebody. He says, I keep calling him Murray. The actor who plays Frank, I think is a guy called Murray Butler, who's Australian. In fact, so is Tessa.
Yeah, I knew
Two of
that
the Aussies,
from
yeah.
whenever she was on the show, the science show. I can't
She's
remember.
Mind Hunters, and yeah, she says I want to invite people over. You think, oh, okay, this is where they bring in trouble.
Right.
This is where it all goes to hell.
Right.
You know, this is where they get robbed, or the infected come in, and then you see it's Joel and Tess, and you see that this really interesting conversation between Joel and him, where they're both kind of alpha dogs of the survival world, where he says you need a new fence, and they set up a relationship. It was good that they had that bit with Joel and Tess, because it did show we were still watching the same show, you know.
Right. It wasn't a Mandalorian Boba Fett situation where it just like dissects off for nothing.
And then we get to the last where they die, and then you realize you're just involved in this strongly emotional story.
Right.
And then the death thing comes on, and that's when you know you're not watching just your stereotypical zombie apocalyptic thriller. You're actually watching something with substance. And I don't think it's going to get any better than this for any characters in the show. Like, we've seen the very, very best case scenario for anyone living on Earth for this pandemic. Right. From now on, I get the feeling it's going to be hell.
Yeah,
it's going to be hell for everybody else. This couple is this kind of this diamond in the rough. This is a beautiful story.
Ideal.
Right.
Yeah. And then, of course, it dovetails back into the story of, it kind of dovetails back into the Ellie Joel thing, and shows us that what we've been watching is actually kind of reflection of Ellie and Joel's relationship.
Right.
That Ellie is going to be like Frank. I hope I got that right. Frank, who's going to be kind of, let's invite people into our lives. Look at all these crazy things, you know. She is like a kid. The world is open, even the bad things like a broken plane that's fallen down from the sky. Right. She sees it as really good. And Joel is going to be like Bill, where, you know, always have the gun ready to go and be protective. And that's why what's his name says to him. Bill says to him in that letter, we are both protectors, you know, and we've both got to protect the ones we love. And then, of course, he thinks he's talking about Tessa. Bill thinks he's talking about Tessa. But of course, it's now Ellie, and so it was just wonderful storytelling. So early in the series, have such a strong and positive story. Have such a beautiful story. I thought you'd see a story like this maybe 3 or 4 episodes down the track. You know, you got the mid-season,
right? That middle place where it's like, okay, you know, let's have a break from all the darkness.
It was really quite ballsy.
Let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out.
Subscribe!
Subscribe!
Die.